Hello everybody and welcome to the table. So today we're going to have a conversation. Today we're talking about pry bars, and to be very specific, everyday carry pocket pry bars. So I need your opinions on the matter. So what do you think about these things? And now, honestly, I bought every single one of these with the full intention of carrying them every day and, saving my knife blade from damage when the need arises. But I find myself ending up leaving them at home most of the time or relegating them to some other small tasks. I kind of want to know what you think, because of course the whole purpose of the pocket pry bar is to save the blade of your knife. So if you have a nice delicate tip on your blade, a lot of the times in a pinch you may use it to pry into something, and of course that could lead to a snapped edge on your knife. So that would be really unfortunate, especially if your everyday carry knife is something nice, higher end. You really don't want to damage it by jamming it into things and prying with it. And of course, that's one of the rules of knife safety. Never use it as a pry tool. A blade is meant for cutting, and that is really its only purpose. If you have something to pry, I suppose the pry bar comes into play there. So what we have here on the table is just kind of a random selection because I've picked up so many of them, and again, all with the really good intention of carrying them, using them, and there's only really a few of them that I have actually carried and used, and of course, I have so many of them, that's probably part of the reason why. But in my opinion, a pocket pry bar, if you're going to use one at all, it has to have a couple of different features. So for instance, it should have something of a beveled edge on the tip, so we can see like this one right here. It leads into an actual prying surface, and most of them have that, all of them have that. That way you can actually get into something and physically pry with it. So obviously the pry bar has to be able to be used for prying. It should be tough enough to hold up to that kind of work. And for me, number two, it's kind of important. I think most of these pry bars, should have other functions in them. And so for instance, there could be something as simple as a bottle opener. I mostly have these relegated to little everyday carry kits that I keep around. I don't necessarily have them on my person all the time, but I like to keep a lot of little tools in something like this where it's just useful and nearby. So maybe not in my pocket, but maybe in my bag or in the car, somewhere where you can just stick a tool in here and have it with you, in case you need it. So it's something like this. And they've pretty much served me in that capacity. And I've really only used them a handful of times in all the time I've owned these things. But what we have on the table here, there are a couple of different examples from semi-high end to low end. Starting down at the bottom here, we have this one right here, solid steel. This one's from Prometheus. I think, is it Prometheus Design Works? But we can see that there's a little wrench in here, a pry tip, a bottle opener, a little cutout here notch. I'm sure that serves some function. If you know what this is for or think what it's for, go ahead and sound off below. I'm kind of curious. But it has a nice pocket clip on it, sculpted clip. It's pretty, and for its intended purpose, very useful. It has jimping on the sides. It's super thick, solid steel. So it's going to hold up to pry bar use if you decide to use and carry this one. So this is one I usually keep with me at work. Right next to it is probably my favorite of the bunch. This right here from Lynch Northwest. One of their pry bars. We can see some anodizing on it because this is titanium, and so it has a slimmer profile, still has that nice tip, and this one has kind of a little pry area right there for something maybe you would use for like a nail or something. And of course the bottle opener, deep carry pocket clip. Just overall very well made, very well done. This one I fell in love with. It was one of the first ones I purchased, so this one's probably gotten the most use out of me. So these two I do use and carry the most out of these on the table. This one here is from Vero, and this one is a definite pry bar, and it serves a double purpose. It has a little bit holder here for these 4mm bits, and so that could be useful. It has these little rubber tips, pocket clip. This one I haven't used all that much for two reasons. Again, it has this really nice purple, I guess a Cerakote coating on it, and that's going to start to wear off if you use it, but also the pocket clip is kind of occluded by those rubber bands, so it doesn't carry very deep in your pocket. So for that reason, I kind of leave it at home. Right next to that, this one is from Gondek EDC. So it has the big G logo on there. This is like a rose gold color anodization, I believe. Or maybe it's a Cerakote, I'm not exactly sure. I think maybe a Cerakote. But it has the 3-hole Benchmade style clip design, so you can add a Benchmade clip. It didn't come with a clip, but if you have any Benchmade style clip, it fits on here. Very simple design, bottle opener, pry tip, and that's about it. Nice jimping and thickness there. Again, solid titanium. Right next to that, of course, this one's actually from Oite. So Oite Knives released a pry bar, and we can see that tapered tip right here with the little pry area. Very nice. Bottle opener up here at the top near the pocket clip. So again, very nice piece. This one I picked up. There was some kind of a promo with Oite at the time, so they were selling it for a really low price. So I decided to pick it up just as a comparison item. But it has these nice grooves in it, makes it easy to hold. So yeah, for the purpose of a pry bar, I mean, it works fine. We also have this one from Oite, as you can see. This is the O-Pry. Yeah, very common, very clever name there. It's kind of a weird gimmicky one. This is steel, so it's not titanium. At least I don't think it is. And has a lot of different functions. These little marks in here for different sized wrenches. We have the 2 bits here and the holder. So again, a 4mm size bit holder. Pocket clip. Again, kind of a gimmicky looking clip. Smiley face on there. But it does have a bottle opener, pry tip. Very functional, if anything. So very solid in hand. One of the heavier ones here on the table. So I do like that. And 2 on the side, these are actually from Maverick Customs. Maverick Customs. So this one I bought kind of on accident. We can see a beautiful blue titanium anodized color. Has these holes in it. So we got some speed holes there. Nice deep carry. Pocket clip. So carries beautifully, really. Pocket clips are super solid. You know, super thick. Very heavy duty. Overall, the item is pretty heavy duty. I bought this one. For some reason, I thought it had a bottle opener on it, and it ended up not having one. So I bought it, and then I immediately went and purchased another one right here, also from Maverick Customs. And this one does have the bottle opener on it. And again, this one's kind of like a more, I don't know, rainbowish color anodization. Looks very nice. And they're all gorgeous items. You know, most of these things are kind of almost boutique items. You know, from Maverick Customs, Gondek EDC, Lynch Northwest. Very few of these are like just mass-produced junk. You know, these things were made for a purpose, made to please the EDC everyday carry crowd out there. And I suppose they do have a purpose, you know, and the only time I really find myself carrying these solo is if I know I'm going to a place that does not allow knives, you know, and they kind of fit that similar profile in your pocket. So, you know, you have a tool if you need it. Even if it's not a knife, of course. But what do you think about everyday carry pry bars? Is this something that has a spot in your pocket, something you keep in the toolbox, something you keep in the car, or are they just kind of a gimmick? Do you think this is just everyday carry gone too far? I'm kind of curious about your thoughts below, so please leave a comment. Tell me what you think about these pry bars, or just the idea of the pocket pry bar. I'm kind of curious about the community and what you guys all think. So hope to hear from you soon, and I hope you all have a knife day. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.